Velocity configuration. Field system regeneration. A field system will be regenerated when more momentum enters. 1. Towards stronger gravity, aka denser field. 2. In the direction of velocity configuration. Since space is gravity, gravity is field momentum, and field system is made out of field momentum. Constant field system motion can be generated by the configuration of absorption and emission of the field momentum. This is the field system's velocity config. It will maintain speed perpetually, unless otherwise influenced. That is why speeding field system needs to extend further, as its velocity config needs to balance interaction with surrounding. A field system can accelerate by tuning its velocity configuration. If a propelled field system did not calibrate its velocity configuration accordingly, it will decelerate quickly to its velocity configuration once propulsion ceases. Field density versus time dilation. Light and traveling matter bends towards denser field, because they are made out of field momentum. Light and traveling matter bends as their configuration slows or shrinks at the side with denser field. Higher field density equals higher interaction equals slower activity observed from outside, and vice versa for lower density field. This is the illusion of time dilation. The effect can also be perceived as space contraction, because all configurations and interactions can be fulfilled in a smaller area in a denser field. Travel interaction. Compared to object A at rest, object B traveling at 20% light speed will experience higher field density in its core, thus higher field density difference between itself and surrounding. Both electromagnetic and gravitational extensions are generated to balance interaction with surroundings. Thus, object B's extension will stretch, especially along direction of travel, to balance interactions for field density differentials, increasing its quantum potentials. Bigger integrated field system has lower extension to core ratio, limiting its quantum behavior and speed. Length contraction. Cost function is to maintain fundamental configuration, preferably at sync equilibrium. Thus, object B's core will shorten along direction of travel, as its configuration can be fulfilled within a smaller area in the denser field. Field systems of spacetime can be compressed omnidirectionally in a dense field. Gravity contraction. Field systems of spacetime can be compressed unidirectionally, traveling fast enough. Speed contraction. From the surrounding perspective, an electron's field is much denser. Electron attracts surroundings' unsynchronized momentum to synchronize with itself by slowing or focusing momentum. Momentum are led to interact in circles until interference forces electron to release unsynchronized momentum, which is literally the slowest momentum can become, causing momentum to look like a particle and behave like a particle from surrounding perspective. An electron is not only dense, it is a self-regenerating cycle, a continuity of interaction that constantly pulls right amount of momentum to synchronize with itself. Mass is the stability of configuration relative to its surrounding, not the amount of energy. Since momentum is constantly moving and interacting at universal rate, stability can only be acquired in spinning trajectories. This is the precise illustration of mass is conservation of energy. Nature has no mass to energy switch. Energy cannot stop and transform to become mass. Even light is usually denser than gravity. Surrounding unsynchronized field momentum is traveling at light speed square. Light's configuration has higher interaction density, thus slowing momentum to universal light speed.